Hello and good evening students and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. Let us take a look at the questions we have listed for you today for our daily quiz. Here is the first question. Consider the following statements. Raj Parba is a festival celebrated mainly in the state of Odisha. It is a 3-day festival celebrating Mother Earth and womanhood. We have taken this question because the Prime Minister of India has greeted the people of Odisha on Raj Parb. This year Raj Parb, which is a 3-day celebration, it is being celebrated from 14th till 16th June. Now Raj Parb, as stated earlier, is a 3-day long festival. First day of which is known as Raj Sankranti. The second day is known as Mithun Sankranti. And the third day is known as Bhudaha or Basi Raja. Now in this festival, they honor Mother Earth and celebrate womanhood. It is believed that it is during these days that Mother Earth menstruates for the first time in the month of June. And that is why the word Raja, it is derived from the word Rajaswala, which means a menstruating woman. So if we go back to our question, this is correct. Yes, this is mainly a festival of Odisha. However, it is celebrated in other places also as Mithun Sankranti. This is also correct. It is a 3-day festival. So your correct answer over here is option C. The next question is, consider the following statements. The Paris Convention calls for a 1.5 degrees Celsius limit for global warming. The rise in global average temperature to measure this limit are calculated keeping as base the global temperature after the last ice age ended. So basically this statement is saying that the base over which 1.5 degrees Celsius rise in temperature is calculated is the temperature that was when the last ice age of Earth ended. We have taken this question because according to a recent study by European Centre for Medium Range Weather Forecast, global warming has already breached 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold, which was set in the Paris Convention this summer for the first time. In fact, recently there was a report by World Meteorological Organization which said that there was a 66% chance that in one of the next 5 years, that is between 2023 to 27, annual global temperatures will breach 1.5 degrees threshold. This has already been done in this summer. Now this threshold, how is it calculated? It is calculated on the basis of pre-industrial level temperatures. So that means that the average temperatures between 1850 to 1900, they are used to calculate whether or not we have breached the 1.5 degree limit. If at this time the average temperature of Earth was 22 degrees Celsius, then if the average temperature of Earth breaches beyond 23.5 degrees Celsius, that means we have breached the 1.5 degree limit. So if we go back to the question, this is correct. However, this is incorrect. It is not the last ice age ending temperatures, but the average temperatures between 1850 to 1900, that is the pre-industrial revolution temperatures, that are used for calculation of this limit. So your correct answer over here is option A. The next question is, how many of these statements are true regarding NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization? It was established in 1949 by a group of nations to provide collective security against the USSR or the Soviet Union. It had 12 founding members and the membership has now increased to 31. Finland is the latest country to become a NATO member. We have taken this question because NATO, it has been trying to expand itself not just within Europe, but it also has a plan to establish an Asian NATO by the end of this year. Now this will definitely escalate the tensions within Asia as well. Now NATO, it was first established in 1949 by the efforts of USA, Canada and a few countries of Western Europe. There were a total of 12 nations that came together as founding members of NATO. This membership over the years has increased a lot and it has swelled up to 31 member states right now, with Finland, which joined this association in 2023, becoming the latest member. So if we go back to our question, This is correct. Yes, it was in 1949 that NATO came into being, and it wanted to protect all the NATO members against the threat of Soviet Union and communism. This is also correct and this is also correct. So your correct answer over here is option D. The fourth question is, how many of the following can be an impact of US Fed rate hikes on Indian markets? More inflow of money into India's government securities, fall of the rupee against the dollar, outflow of money from the stock markets. We have taken this question because recently the US Fed, that is the US Federal Reserve, it maintained the status quo regarding its interest. So it has neither increased or reduced its interest rates. So what does it mean? So when US Fed, it increases the interests, that means that the government securities, the US government securities, they will provide an increased rate of interest for their owners. So that means that everyone would be more enticed to buy these government securities of the US government, because these are one of the most stable investment instruments of the world. So what happens is that if there is an increase in the rates, then that means everyone will go and buy the US government securities. So that will mean that especially from the developing world, the money will be extracted out of their stock markets and then invested into US government securities. The money will also be extracted from their domestic government securities to be invested in the US government securities. Moreover, their currency will fall in comparison to the US currency, because there will be more and more demand of dollars in order to buy these US government securities. So if we go back to the question, yes, there will be a fall of rupee against dollar. There will be outflow of money from the stock markets. What about this? No, people would not find India's government securities to be more attractive in such a scenario. They would want to invest in the US government securities and will in fact take out money from here to invest over here. So this is incorrect. There will not be more inflow of money into these securities. There will be a net outflow in this case. So over here your correct answer will be option B. Now we come to a PYQ from the year 2008. What does Baudhayan Theorem, Baudhayan Sulva Sutras relate to? Lengths of sides of right angle triangles, calculation of the value of pi, logarithmic calculations, normal distribution curve. Now the Baudhayan Sutras, they are a group of Vedic Sanskrit texts which cover ideas like dharma, daily ritual, mathematics and so on. So they belong to the Kshatriya branch of Krishna Yajurved school and are amongst the earliest texts of Sutra genre. It is said that they were compiled as early as 8th to 7th century BC. The Baudhayan Sulva Sutras, they are noted for containing several early mathematical results. So they are related to maths. So what all do they include? They include things like approximation of square root of 2 and the statement of a version of Pythagorean theorem. Pythagorean theorem is related to the sides of the right angle triangle. The hypotenuse square equals to the base square and the height square, right? So that is why Baudhayan theorem, it is related to lengths of sides of right angle triangle, which is equivalent to the Pythagoras theorem. So your correct answer over here is option A. Now we come to the fact of the day, which is about the justice clocks. Now justice clocks, they have been installed across the various court complexes of High Courts of India. There are a total of 39 justice clocks that are functional in 25 High Courts of the country. Now justice clocks, what are they? They are nothing but a LED display message sign that have been installed in the court complexes. These signs, they make effective use of database that is created through National Judicial Data Grid and makes this information available to the public. The purpose of these clocks is to bring awareness to the public regarding the justice sector, advertise the various schemes of the Department of Justice like e-courts and other schemes, and give the status of various fields to the public. This system also gives the idea about the various services that are offered within the court complexes. It also has an year-wise pendency data that is displayed on these boards so that the public can be made aware more closely regarding the functioning of the judicial systems in the country. Moreover, the specific focus is on the schemes of Department of Justice like e-courts, access to justice and legal aid to the poor, so that everyone can be aware of these schemes and they can use them for their own and others' benefits. So that is all about today's daily quiz. I hope you were able to understand all the concepts. So do not forget to tell us in the comments how many questions were you able to answer correctly. So thank you very much and have a very good day ahead.